On the news, petrol tanker explosion kills 8 in Kogi State. APC wins Kogi Bayelsa governorship election as INEC declares senatorial rerun inconclusive. And death toll in Iran protest hits 12. A warm welcome to News Now. I am Fidelia Aguncha. About 8 people are found dead with 7 others injured after a petrol tanker rammed into other vehicles around the Falele axis of the Abuja-Lokoja highway in Kogi State. The accident involved 3 cars, 4 tricycles, 3 motorcycles and a bus. According to officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, a total of 17 people were involved in the accident. The Corps attributed the accident to a brake failure on the part of the petrol tanker. The victims and injured persons have been taken to the hospital, while the inferno caused by the accident has been put out by officials of the Federal Fire Service drafted to Lokoja for the governorship election. Just 3 days ago, 2 people were killed with 6 others injured after a petrol tanker skidded off the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway and exploded, affecting no fewer than 17 vehicles. While still in Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, candidate of the All Progressives Congress, has been re-elected for a second term as governor of the state. Bello polled a total of 406,222 votes to defeat Musa Wada of the People's Democratic Party, who polled a total of 189,704 votes. Natasha Akpoti of the Social Democratic Party SDP came a distant third with 9,482 votes. Bello polled the highest vote in 12 of the 21 local government areas in the state. He was subsequently declared winner of the election by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) on Monday. The result has however been rejected by Wada, who described the election as organized war against democracy.
There was no election on Saturday, November the 16th, 2019, but a declaration and execution of war against the people. What happened in Kogi was an organized war against democracy, coup against the people, and seizure of power through brigandage and the barrel of the gun. Members of the police and other security agencies were coordinating and stealing the people's votes. The police accompanied armed thugs to invade polling units with impunity, shot and killed voters, carted away ballot boxes to government facilities in Kogi State, where results were written in favor of APC and handed over to INEC to announce against the will of the people. Therefore, stand with the people of Kogi State to stay without any equivocation that this brigandage and stealing of our mandate cannot stand. We will never despair, but remain strong in our determination to retrieve the mandate freely given to us by the people in their desire for a change, and we will pursue this cause to its logical conclusion within the confines of the laws of this country.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has declared the Kogi West Interior rerun election inconclusive. This was announced by the returning officer for the poll, Olainde Lawal, who noted that the margin lead between the 2 contestants was not enough for him to declare a winner. He announced that Adeyemi polled a total of 80,118 votes, while Dinumalaye got 59,548 votes from the 7 local government areas in the senatorial district. Lawal further explained that the total margin between both candidates is higher than the 43,127 registered voters in 53 polling units of 20 registration areas in the zone where elections were cancelled. He added that INEC will announce a new date for the conduct of a supplementary election in the 53 polling units before a winner can be returned. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has declared candidate of the All Progressives Congress, David Leon, winner of the November 16 governorship election in Bayelsa State. Leon's victory was announced on Monday morning by Faraday Orumuwese, returning officer of the Independent National Electoral Commission and Vice Chancellor of the University of Benin. According to Orumuwese, Lion polled a total of 352,552 votes to defeat his closest rival and candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Doye Diri, who scored 143,172 votes. Meanwhile, the PDP and its candidate Diri have rejected the election results, alleging voters' intimidation, among other irregularities. The Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, has called on President Muhammadu Buhari to demonstrate leadership by example and redeem the sanctity of the nation's democracy. The group made the call on the heels of reported violence during the Bayelsa-Kogi governorship elections. Addressing journalists in Abuja at elections reviews, CDD Director Idayat Hazan stated that elections in both states were marred by various irregularities, including ballot box snatching, voters' intimidation, vote buying, among others. The CDD noted that the conduct of the election shows that lessons were not learned from the 2019 general elections.
We went through a lot of the key roads leading out of Lokoja, and there were no checkpoints. And precisely because the police was not there to check, those who are moving around were armed thugs in Hilux vans, carrying weapons and moving systematically from polling unit to polling unit. Nobody checked them. This is a direct indication that there was state complicity in what happened.
At the CDD Election Analysis Center in Kogi and Bayelsa, from where we received field data and updates on the conduct of the polls, the sheer magnitude of the violent assault on the sanctity of the ballot was shocking beyond description. The outcome of such a process that was so criminally subverted should not actually be allowed to stand. At the last count, our observer report from Kogi State have recorded the death of 10 people in various shooting incidents and attacks across the state. The CDD EAC non-partisan observers, including trained roving journalists, reported over 79 critical incidents in the Kogi State off-cycle election and the rerun governorship elections and the rerun senatorial elections.
The question is, where do we go from here? And my suggestion would be that CDD should coordinate other stakeholders to pursue the electoral offenders in Kogi and Bayelsa so that we can make a point that those who fought for the current rickety democratic process will not allow it to be derailed.
Meanwhile, Yaga Africa has faulted the Bayelsa governorship election and is calling on the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to conduct an audit of the state governorship results. Yaga's project director, Cynthia Mbamalu, made the statement during a press briefing on Yaga Africa watching the vote on 2019 Bayelsa governorship election results in Abuja. She says there were obvious discrepancies on the collation process as a parallel vote tabulation PVT, which the group used during the election, had entirely different outcomes. Also speaking, Ezenwa Nwagu, the Yaga Africa co-chair, lamented the unprofessional conduct exhibited by electoral stakeholders in Bayelsa State.
The most significant manipulation of the collation process was for Southern Niger. INEC's official results for APC is 124,803 votes, or 96%, while the PVT estimates the maximum vote share possible is 80%. At the same time, INEC's official result for PDP is 4,989, or 4%, while the PVT estimates the minimum vote share possible is 16%. We had to flag Southern Niger because on elections, the majority of our critical incidents came in from Southern Niger, revealing that materials for words were snatched, hijacked, and some thrown into into the sea, and that was the reason we started tracking for polling units where elections did not hold. As noted above, 46% of PVT sampled polling units in southern Niger held no election, suggesting that up to half of all polling units in the LGA did not open. However, INEC announced that a total of 130,121 votes were cast in southern Niger out of the 165,449 registered voters for a turnout of 79%. This is not possible given the widespread failure of polling units to hold elections across the LGA.
YAGA Africa urgently calls on INEC to conduct an inclusive, transparent, and accountable audit of the Bayelsa gubernatorial results that involves political parties and civil society. The audit must include two elements. First, it must identify all polling units that had no election on November 16, so that the new elections can be held for those polling units. Second, it must recollate the results of those polling units that did not hold elections on November 16, so that the correct partial results can be determined.
Meanwhile, Nigerians have been reacting to Saturday's governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa State. TV360's Tunji Oye spoke to some Nigerians on their assessment of the exercise, and here is what they have been saying.
The Bayelsa and Kogi State governorship election dominated discussion across the Federal Capital Territory on Monday. Here at one of the busy newspaper stands in town, that's the Igi Square in Abuja, it's been argument all day. Was it a free and fair election? Was it rigged? Is INEC culpable? Are security agencies used to subvert the will of the people? In the light of disturbing videos coming out of the elections, Nigerians are reacting.
Kogi election, to me, it's not proper. It's not proper because things are not going the way it should be. A lot of killings, and it's not good. Especially during election time, when people kill, police don't arrest, they don't investigate anything, they just assume that it's election killing and that those people are dead and gone just like that. Why must we be wasting life? If the people of the state say they don't want Mr. So and so to be their governor, then so let it be.
It's a laughable issue because it's unfortunate that such a thing is happening in our country. Incumbents using incumbency power. And in fact, as far as I am concerned, the federal government is supporting injustice in this country. That is the truth about the issue.
I don't believe there's ringing in Bayelsa. I don't believe there's ringing in Kogi. If the people accept ringing, good and fine. That's less for them. If they didn't accept ringing, that's less for them. All I know, the result in Kogi and the result in Bayelsa is the mind of the people. So I believe it's the mind of the people. I don't think there's anything ringing.
I'm highly disappointed about the whole election process. Why? Because I feel like in Nigeria, at this level in our country, we should be conducting free and fair election. Not such kind of rigging election that will come up with results that will surprise even the electorate. So I sincerely believe that the election was not well conducted the way it should be. I haven't really seen on the radio, witnessed what happened, the gunshots in Kogi State especially, which is their neighboring state. Really kind of disappointed in the process.
Who is to blame for the continued downward slide of the country's electoral process? Politicians, electoral body, security agencies, or even the voters? Is there any hope for a better deal before 2023? From Abuja, Tunji Oye, TV360 News.
If Nigeria is to benefit maximally from the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, it is important for the legislature and executive arm of government to work in synergy. Chairman House Committee on Treaties, Protocols and Agreement, Osai, Nicholas Osai, said this in Abuja at a lecture organized by the National Institute of Legislative Studies. The lawmaker said the National Assembly is not privy to some of the treaties and agreements entered into for the country, thereby making it difficult to back it up legally.
The National Assembly, whose constitutional mandate is in line with Section 12, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is to ratify, domesticate government treaties, protocols, and agreements, and the Treaties Making Procedure Act, which are also a decree, which has become an act of National Assembly as of today, and usually completely sidelined by the executive in the process leading to negotiation.
Some of the factors that have been identified for this relatively low intra-African trade performance include tariff barriers and poor infrastructures across the African continent. In order to build the intra-African trade, the African Union introduced the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement on 21st March 2018. This agreement creates a single continental market for the trade, for the free movement of goods and services within the African continent.
People had worries, which include exposure of already struggling local manufacturing sector to undue competition from other African countries, and that the agreement might lead to job losses and increased unemployment. In addition, due to the poor export capacity in the non-oil sector and the low industry capacity, many of our stakeholders suggest that there is a need to review the trade agreements.
The assumption is that since Nigeria is the largest economy on the continent, the most populous, that we would automatically be in a position to benefit maximally from the African Free Trade Continental Agreement. This is not the case. It's not automatic. For Nigeria to gain maximum benefit from this, it has to work for it.
Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate, Aliu Shabi, is drawing up support for the hate speech bill he sponsored at the National Assembly. Speaking during an interactive session with journalists in Abuja, Shabi urged Nigerians to support the bill as it is designed to engender peace, love, and unity. He stressed that even though the bill is aimed at protecting the peace and safety of Nigerians, he has received several mails and messages condemning the bill. Shabi says their criticism of the bill is because they do not have adequate information about it.
As far as I'm concerned, the main import of bringing this bill is to make sure that the issue of victims, people suffering as a result of this, is put to check. Life cannot be bought in the market. Every life matters. And let's have this conversation as responsible citizens. Whatever anybody will say, if you've never been a victim, or your loved one has never been a victim, then you will have the luxury of making statements anyhow as far as this subject matter is concerned. But I bet you, if you meet those who have lost their loved ones arising from violence due to ethnicity or religious intolerance and the like, I don't think they will be smiling with you when you tell them hate speech is nonsense.
News Now will continue in just a moment. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country.
Now, yeah?
Yes, Oga. Okay. Where I go come find 300 naira change?
I better try look for change now. When they do business. Hey, Timmy. I did, bro. I be. I beg, give me 200 naira. Make I take sort out this guy. Blessing no get change.
Take it, give us.
I said 200.
Give her 100 naira.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree to pay 200 naira.
How much you think they carry people from that place we carry on the chair?
Okay.
Why they touch me?
Now 100 naira. He agreed to pay.
Because that was what you said was the fair.
Why you no go pay you? Why you dey extort your customer? You see this corruption wey we dey hear for news, dey see for people everywhere. Na im be this o. This is corruption, not in our country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Welcome back. Let's now join Oyin Adekunle for news in business. Hello, Oyin.
Hi, Fidelia.
So tell me what's making headlines over there.
Well, Nigeria's inflation rate rose to 11.61% in October, its highest in 18 months. And this is according to latest data released by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. According to the Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation, this represents an increase of 0.36% compared to 11.24% recorded in September. A separate food price index showed inflation at 14.09% in October, compared with 13.51% in September. Experts have connected the rise in food prices to the ongoing border closure, which has made it difficult for products to be exported and imported into Nigeria through the land border. Car dealers in Lagos have charged President Muhammadu Buhari to intervene in the continued sealing of their business premises by the Nigerian Customs Service. The dealers under the aegis of Automobile Dealers Friends Association, ADFA, made the request during a peaceful protest staged on Monday. They also urged Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the Speaker of the House, Mudashiru Obasa, to call on customs to order and unseal their premises immediately. This next report has more.
Nigerian Customs Service, please open our shop.
Bearing placards with various inscriptions and chanting solidarity songs, car dealers in Lagos State embark on this peaceful protest. They say their shops have been under lock and key for the past 2 months, sealed by officials of the Nigeria Customs Service. For more than an hour, the protesters marched from the Obafemi Awolowo Way to the State House in Alausa. On arrival, they demand to speak with Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, but were later received by some members of the State House of Assembly. Leader of the protest and chairman of the association, Morgan Onyebuchi, narrates the ordeal faced by members of the association since their shops were shut down on September 30th.
It had been happening every 3 or 4 months. Then we'll keep on going there, sorting them out. Maybe at the end of the day, we might contribute 300,000, 400,000, as the case may be. At times, some people will pay the 3 million, 4 million for their shop to be opened. But this time, we said no. Nigeria is supposed to be more than this by now. We can't continue doing this. Our shops are being locked since almost 2 months now. We don't have any other thing we are doing. We don't have any other means of livelihood apart from that business.
The Nigeria Customs Service had earlier accused the car dealers of failing to reconcile their papers and documents by paying the required duty on vehicles in their mart, but the group has denied these allegations.
People that clear these cars are customs licensed agents. We don't have our own agents. We don't have the right to bring any other agents apart from the one customs approved. So this deal, this business is between them and their licensed agents.
In response, the lawmakers promised to review the petition submitted by the group and also investigate the allegations and act accordingly.
On behalf of Mr. Speaker, we have listened very attentively to your plight. I will collect your petition. We will consider it, we investigate, and we make our recommendation.
We've seen through your posters and all that, your grievances. I want to assure you that we will give it, a harder look towards, considering your plight. The House will look at the issue dispassionately and address it.
While the Nigeria Customs Service maintains that its action is in line with the anti-smuggling move which has led to the closure of land borders across the country, this group says the closure has not only affected them but has also harmed car sales business in Lagos State.
Well, let's take a pause here, and when we return, we'll be reviewing activities on the stock market. Please stay tuned. The Nigerian equities market opened weekly trading activities today on a negative note, despite expectations that the market will sustain gains from previous session. At the close of trading today, the all-share index decreased by 0.60%, while the value of all listed stocks depreciated by 189 billion naira to close at 12.8 trillion naira, and that's from 13.07 trillion naira in previous session. And on the percentage laggards today, Okomo Oil recorded the highest loss, leading the pack of 14 losers after its share price moved from 52 naira 95 kobo and closed at 50 naira today. Access Bank also extended its shedding by 70 kobo in addition to the 30 kobo which it lost in previous session. And moving on, EcoBank and UBA also completed the list of top 4 losers after their share prices declined by 50 kobo and 35 kobo respectively. But on the flip side, we see that Guinness remains the toast of investors, recording the highest price gain today of 2 naira and 40 kobo, followed of course by Stanbic IBTC, which moved up by 1 naira. And Custodian and Dangote Sugar also recorded gains, today to the tune of 30 kobo. And on the activities, on the table of activities, as the activity chart, we see that investors exchanged over 300 million shares worth 2.5 billion naira in 4,609 deals. Of course, let's now see what trading was like in other markets, global markets now. We see FTSE rising today, where it went modestly higher today. The Dow Jones also rose slightly amid reports of Chinese pessimism on a potential US-China trade deal. And of course, Nikkei, 0.49% rise as well. So it's over to you now, Fidelia. That's it from here.
Well, thank you, Oyin, for that review. Let's now move to the foreign scene. At least 12 people have been killed in Iran since protests against fuel price hikes erupted 3 days ago. The situation on the street is unclear on account of a nationwide internet shutdown, but demonstrations are reportedly continuing in some cities. According to the government, Monday was calmer despite some minor issues, but the powerful Revolutionary Guard has demanded an end to the unrest. The Foreign Ministry has also criticized the U.S. for expressing support for the protesters, following a tweet by U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who said the U.S. is strongly behind the protesters. And in sports, Nigeria's most prestigious ladies golf championship is set to hold at the golf section of Ikoyi Club in Lagos tomorrow. The event will run from Tuesday, November 19 to Friday, November 22nd, with ladies from several countries already signed up to take part. According to Lady Captain of the section, Lola Ajibola, the event would feature the best skilled lady golfers in Nigeria and Africa. Well, that's the news now. Many thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Bye for now.